Hey, Zach, you want to talk about Starfield?
No!
So, you have watched the trailer in its entirety?
Yes, I have.
A lot of people have been asking us if we're excited about it, and I usually don't get excited about video games. So, I definitely tuned into this trailer to see if I could be hyped up about it. So, what is your overall impression of the game? I haven't asked yet.
No, what is your overall impression of the game?
Based on the trailer, not positive.
Okay, my overall impression is, it seems like Bethesda made No Man's Sky.
So I haven't actually played No Man's Sky at all. I know that it came out to a bit of a kerfuffle. People weren't happy with it.
Yeah, basically what...
So
we're not talking about No Man's Sky, but to sum it up really quickly, No Man's Sky, they overpromised and then worked their asses off to make sure that they could deliver on those promises, and No Man's Sky is actually good now.
So when you say this reminds you of No Man's Sky, does it remember of when it was bad, or right now when it's relatively good?
To be fair, I enjoyed No Man's Sky when it first came out, but...
All right.
Anyway.
It didn't answer my question.
I don't know. I'm not sure. My overall impression is it looks neat, but because Bethesda has dropped the ball so many times in recent future, I'm keeping my expectations incredibly low.
You mean recent past, I assume?
Sorry, yes. Because
I've seen into the future back in 2027.
Back in 2027, I was wearing an onion on my belt, which was the style at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks neat, but they've goofed up. They've done goofed so many times that I'm trying to keep my expectations low.
But would you say this trailer raised your expectations a little bit? Would you have a positive takeaway from this trailer? Or?
I have a positive takeaway from this trailer in that I was convinced that they were never actually going to come out with this game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was convinced they were just gonna keep delaying it and they weren't ever actually going to release it.
You thought this is Duke Nukem Forever?
Yeah, kinda.
Okay.
I was just like, yeah, they're just gonna keep talking about Starfield and then they're just gonna keep making Skyrim. That's all they're gonna do.
Yeah, a lot of people have compared this to No Man's Sky and called it No Man's Skyrim. That's a recurring joke I've heard.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, you haven't heard that one?
I hadn't heard that one yet, no.
Yeah.
No.
No Man's Skyrim. I don't know if it's going to be the case. Again, I've not played No Man's Sky. I don't know if I can make comparisons. I'll have to leave that to you. I did get Mass Effect Andromeda vibes from this game, though, which is not a good thing.
Okay.
First, I don't want to spend the entire time tearing this trailer down, but I will say Starfield, kind of a forgettable name.
It's kind of a forgettable name. I like the logo, though.
It looks nice.
I think the logo looks really cool. I think that's a very neat minimalist logo. I really like how it looks. I do kind of get the impression that someone set down a coffee cup on top of the word Starfield and picked it up and went, oh, damn! Why are you always wearing that jacket, Todd? Why are you always wearing that jacket?
Is it always like his presentation jacket?
I feel like he wears that jacket for every single thing. Anyway, why don't we...
Like our previous games, it's an epic role-playing game where you get to be who you want and go where you want.
You get to be who you want, just like in Skyrim, where you get to be a stealth archer. Okay, so the world... Everything that I saw here, the world looks really cool. The spaceships look sick. I actually noticed when the spaceship lands, it gave me Nostromo vibes. I like how they made the legs and engines of the spaceship, like right here where it's landing. That really looks a lot like the way the Nostromo landed in Aliens.
Okay.
So that's pretty cool.
One of the things I did notice while I was watching the trailer is that there's a lot of environments. That was even a thing I could give Fallout 76 credit for, as much as I detested that game. There were a lot of fun areas to explore.
Yeah. The worlds in this, like what they've shown so far, that all looks really cool. I love how the spaceships look. Again, and because this is one of the things that Bethesda actually gets right a lot of the time, is they make really cool, interesting worlds to explore. Whether or not those worlds are flushed out, totally different.
Yeah.
Also, I love how this robot looks.
Yeah, it's a pretty easy way to get into our hearts, is to have a really cute-looking robot.
He's super cool looking. I think he's really interesting.
Yeah, so did, Outer Worlds also had a cool robot near the end, but...
Yeah, Outer Worlds had some cool... I love how he looks. It looks like he's got a winch on the front of him, too, which is really interesting. Say thank you to the robot. He just told you where to go. Come on.
That's handy.
Yeah, and again, like the spacesuits. I think the spacesuits look super cool.
Yeah, they do look nice. I find it very odd the things they prioritized showing in the gameplay trailer. A lot of the things that they showcased were gunplay, character creation. They showed mining for minerals.
Mining for minerals? What is this? No Man's Sky?
Is this Deep Rock Galactic? I mean, people like that game. They didn't really show the dialogue system.
Yeah.
And that's really gonna influence my opinion on this game. I have heard them say, I think they had a clarification today, that your character won't be voiced, which is probably for the best.
Yeah, people didn't respond well to the voiced character in Fallout 4.
Yeah, it did limit the role-playing abilities. That's what I'm more interested about than the gunplay. Yeah, of course your game's gonna have gunplay. Yeah, you're gonna be shooting generic pirates, generic raiders, generic humanoid enemies. Of course you are.
I noticed this part, it jumps around a lot. If you look at the ammo counter on the bottom of the screen, it changes quantities several times.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. The fact that they couldn't get this in one consistent recording session.
I'm assuming that they're like cutting out scrounging ammo from here and there, and maybe they cut out a couple of boring battles here and there. This probably is like a 20-minute gameplay session that was cut down to like 5 minutes. Now this is what I found kind of baffling. They're showcasing this lockpicking minigame.
I think the lockpicking minigame, it looks cool.
Do you?
Yeah, I think that looks neat.
Why are you showing me the exact same minigame I played back in 2002 with the original Ratchet and Clank? It doesn't matter too much because all these minigames are the first thing I mod out of these games, because that's not why I'm here to play these games. But this seems so generic and uninspired to me, and I would say I don't care, but I do care because they're showcasing this. Like, this is supposed to be getting me excited to play their game. I'm not. It is doing the opposite. This is making me recoil and say, if this is what you think I'm interested in, this game is not for me. This is not what I'm here to play.
That's valid, because I saw this and I went, huh, that looks okay. I mean, that doesn't look bad.
You say that right now, but you're looking at a novice-level security lock. You wait until you get to intermediate and expert-level locks that are taking you 20 minutes to crack, and you're going to be kicking and screaming at your computer, I just want to get back to playing the game. Give me this gun.
I would rather do this than the lockpicking in Fallout 4.
Okay.
At least with this, you can actually see what you're doing, and it's not just, oh, gee, I hope this works.
This seems like the kind of thing I would enjoy on its own, but when I'm sitting down to play this game, I don't want to play puzzles. I don't want to play puzzles in any of the Mass Effect games. These mini-games, as interesting as they might be, I'm not sitting down to play Starfield, and then I take a 5-minute break every once in a while to play Sudoku. I just want to play the game I'm here to play.
Fair enough.
And I feel like this is just detracting from it. And maybe it's going to be interesting to people that haven't played Ratchet and Clank before and haven't seen these kinds of puzzles before, but I've seen these 20 years ago, and I'm not impressed. This whole combat sequence just seemed uninspired, too.
You know what I noticed about this combat sequence? This guy right here. That just walks out and just stands there to get shot. Wasn't even aware. Yeah,
he has a fun explosion. He goes into the sky. It's comical like in all those other Fallout games where the enemy's glitched up into the sky. Yeah, we'll laugh at that, sure. But yeah, that was the first thing I noticed too. Yeah, this guy, he's running away from someone who's shooting at him, runs out into the open, not even paying attention. He very slowly saunters away.
Yeah, just a slow jog so that they can show his jetpack getting hit and him taking off into the sky.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it doesn't make me feel like the AI is going to be all that great.
Again, the spaceships look super cool.
Sure.
I think the spaceships look neat.
I don't have a problem with the aesthetic, really.
I'm very glad that at least in this, the leader of the Constellation, or whatever the hell it's called, I'm glad that the leader isn't a smarmy jerk.
Oh, you've had enough of those.
I'm so sick of leaders of factions being smarmy jerks in, like, Fallout.
Like Maxon in Fallout 4.
Like Maxon and Desdemona, and I guess Preston isn't a smarmy jerk, but he's also technically not the leader of the Minutemen. He just tells you what to do.
Yeah, we'll see if they repeat that trope where, oh, you're the savior of the world, you're the chosen one.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if they let us just be an astronaut, or a guy that dicks around in a jetpack. So when it comes to the character animations, they seemed okay for the most part.
Yeah, they don't seem bad.
Yeah, I feel like it's really difficult to avoid the uncanny valley, but there were a couple of times where I went, ooh, that was Mass Effect Andromeda levels of facial animation.
I didn't notice any, at least not like in the recently released game of The Quarry, where literally every second of that game is living in the uncanny valley.
Yeah.
I cannot watch that game. It's so hard for me to watch it because I just keep going like, ugh, oh, it's a reanimated corpse. Stop it.
Well, now I'm intrigued. I'm gonna have to check that out for a little bit. I don't mind these factions. I don't know anything about these factions. I'm not gonna complain about them. They could be really cool.
Yeah. It's kind of neat that you can join what I'm assuming are the bad guys. They're the ones that you were like shooting at the beginning of the trailer. The Crimson whatever, I forget what their name was.
Okay. Yeah, the ability to join the Legion equivalent of a faction would be a step up, I'd say.
Yeah. I just really hope that this isn't like the ending of Fallout 4, where it doesn't matter what faction you pick, the ending is always the exact same.
Yeah.
I like that there is... this must be some kind of museum, because there's a model of the ISS is hanging up there.
Oh.
To the left of the ISS is the Apollo lunar lander. This thing right by the camera that's out of focus is one of the moon rovers. And then straight ahead under the ISS is the Mercury capsule. And then to the right of the Mercury capsule is one of the Apollo capsules.
All right, so we got some
I'm pretty sure
things.
it might be one of the newer ones. What is it? The Orion capsule? I forget, but it might be one of the newer ones.
That's pretty cool. Fun-looking dinosaurs.
He's got a beak.
I have no idea if it's going to be like a thing you look at once and go, that's cool, and then walk away, or if it's supposed to be something you harvest for 2 pounds of meat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I like that the personnel record thing is like a DNA readout.
Oh, yeah.
See, I was going to say, I thought the skill system looked kind of cool. That is just stolen straight from Fallout, though.
That's fine.
The body type thing.
Yeah, you don't even look at your body most of the time anyway in these games.
Yeah, that's true. I do like that you can change your walk style, but...
Sure. Give me a peg leg. I'll take the peg leg walking style where I hobble along. It's not the main draw to a game for me, but it's nice they have these options.
Yeah.
It's not the appearance I have an issue with. The appearance is fine. That looks great. Top tier. Well done. Yeah, sure. It's these skills, these backgrounds and everything. These different traits and aspects you can add to your character. Pistols do 10% more damage. Med packs do 10% more. These are incredibly boring and forgettable, and I don't care in the slightest. The more I looked through them, the more I didn't care, because they all looked incredibly forgettable to me.
But that one's one called Combat Medic. I would argue that the reason you don't care is because that's not the kind of character you want to play.
Maybe, but I mean, even still, pistols do 10% more damage. That's something that can be negated by like turning the difficulty down. Is that really customizing my character? Maybe.
This is like doing the GOAT test. The thing that you choose at the beginning that's like, are you a scientist, or are you a big strong guy, or are you this?
Sure.
So that would be my counter argument, is that it's giving you a bunch of different ones, that this is the base on which you're building the rest of your character.
Well, 2 things for that. First of all, this is supposed to be getting me excited about the game, and you're just showing me that you have the things from like 20 years ago. It doesn't show me that you're doing anything new or innovative.
I'm not saying that your opinion isn't valid. I'm just arguing that most people are going to see this and lose their damn minds.
If taking the pistol certification gave me different dialogue options because I'm an expert with pistols, or if taking that skill allowed my character to do an idle animation where he's spinning the revolver around like Revolver Ocelot or some nonsense like that, that would be cool. But doing 10% more damage, I am already asleep looking at this screen. Medicine skill. Does that mean I'm going to be able to resolve injured people like I can in Fallout New Vegas?
Maybe.
Does it mean stim packs do 10% more damage? Boring!
It might. Those skills might actually have other effects on gameplay.
Then
I'm just playing devil's advocate. Those skills may have other effects on gameplay. They're just not showing it here. And I do agree with you that they could have done a better job showcasing the stuff that's going to be in their game.
If it were part of the game, if pistol certification would open more options, they should definitely include that in the description, because right now it's not in the description, and I'm not feeling psyched about it, because it's not. There's the persuasion skill.
Where he's sneezing on this other person.
Yes. Gain an increased chance of success on speech challenges. Okay, so basically there's just one speech skill still. I'm not exactly sure what increases your chance of speech checks passing.
I hope that this is not like Fallout 4 and Fallout 3, where you have a percentage to pass a speech check, so you just quick save and spam the speech check until you get it.
I don't know. Diplomacy caught my eye here too. You can force a target NPC at or below your level to stop fighting for a while.
I would say that's intimidation, not diplomacy.
Exactly, that's Fallout 4. They had that skill in Fallout 4, and we never use it because it's hot garbage, because you aim a gun at them, and they go, oh, okay, I'm pacified now. And then 45 seconds later, they're still attacking you, and you still gotta kill them. I'm feeling like they're not making an improvement on Fallout 4. I'm feeling like all my issues that I have with Fallout 4 aren't being resolved here. This is just a new coat of paint over Fallout 4, and it's not an improvement. They're going back from Fallout 76 to Fallout 4, which is definitely a good step, but Fallout 4 still has its issues, and I'm not confident you're resolving them here.
At least they're not saying that it's Fallout.
It is Fallout with the skin on.
No, but I mean, at least they're not saying, at least this isn't a new Fallout game.
Yes, I will say that at least we're going to get something new. We have been complaining about them rehashing Super Mutants and the Brotherhood and the Enclave, and they can't do that, or at least they shouldn't be able to. Welcome, we're the Brotherhood of Space.
Yeah, we're the Brotherhood of Space.
We'll see if they have a new coat of paint on the exact same thing, but there's at least the hint that they could have something new here.
Yeah.
Says here you spent some time as a diplomat. Having a way with words might prove useful.
So that's a nice thing. You choose diplomat, he says, oh, you're a diplomat. And as long as that continues throughout the game, that's nice, but I have a feeling that it's not. I have a feeling that it's just going to be a one right-off line, and your occupation of choice is never going to be brought up again. So, there's... One of the traits is, your parents are alive and well, and you can visit them at their home, but 10% of all the money you earn is deducted automatically and sent to them. Interesting.
Okay.
Not really a personality trait.
What do you get from that?
You lose 10% of your money, but I guess maybe you visit your parents occasionally and they'll give you, like...
Maybe they give you stuff?
A healing item, I guess.
No. Alright.
It's not really a personality trait, though. It's like a background.
Yeah.
And another background. You grew up on the mean streets of Neon. What if you take Kid Stuff and Neon Street? Do you have parents that also grew up on the mean streets of Neon?
There's some of them, like introvert, you pick introvert and you can't pick extrovert. And again, let me play devil's advocate. We don't know how much of this is final.
So it says you gain access to special dialogue options and some who cares about better rewards? More dialogue options. Maybe branching narratives depending on if you take this trait. That's nice. Yeah. I think that could be cool. The thing I want most of all from this game, I'll lay it out right now, is I want my character to be able to take different paths and have different abilities to resolve quests, and maybe even have new quests available because of the things they've done or the traits they've taken, which is something that was sorely lacking from Fallout 4. Almost every mission is resolved at the end of a gun, and very little of your character build changed the way things go unless like your charisma was at 5 or something, whatever. This is still an improvement over Fallout 4. Instead of giving you a backstory and a family, you can choose none of that. I don't want anybody related to me. I want to go into this in a cold, dead, isolated way. That's an improvement. I'll give them that. Oh, so
religion traits.
You can, you're allowed to purchase things from this church, but you're banned from buying things at that church. Cool.
I don't want that. That sounds awful.
Another, this one, right?
Great Serpent?
The Serpent's Embrace. You grew up worshipping the Great Serpent. You can grav jump and get a boost to health and endurance, but health and endurance are lowered if you don't continue jumping regularly, like an addiction. What is that nonsense?
I mean, that sounds kind of funny.
It is kind of funny, yeah.
That's kind of like you can only, like in Fallout New Vegas, where if you pick the Four Eyes perk, you have to wear glasses all the time, otherwise you get a detriment to perception.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's certainly more interesting than being locked out of stores.
Yeah.
So, what we have here is the skill tree. Not really a tree because it doesn't look like things are locked off based on previous choices. It's just a skill list you can choose from.
Maybe it's like you have to pick a certain amount of the ones at the top to access the next level.
It doesn't look like that's the case, though. It looks like you can take whatever skill you want at any time.
Yeah.
But regardless, looking at this, I feel like everyone's going to have the same problem where you're going to go, oh boy, I have a skill point. And then you'll go to the level up area, and there are legitimately about 100 skills to choose from, and you're not going to know where to put it. There's so many different options.
Oh, yeah, and also they all have, it seems like some of them are going to have multiple ranks, because Sniper has 4 ranks to pick from.
Yeah. And I was looking through these different ranks, and again, these all are just stat boosts. Your attack goes up 5% with rifles, your health goes up by 2%. None of it seems interesting to me. It's just slightly building up your stats. And honestly, if I were having trouble with gameplay, I could just crank the difficulty down. Again, that's not what I'm here for.
I feel like the reason they're showing the combat ones is because most of their target audience is like, I don't care about the speech ones. I feel like you are an oddity. You, Mike,
probably
are an oddity in this, in that you want branching narratives and these other things, and most people want me shoot bad guy and bad guy die.
Exactly. I want Fallout New Vegas. Everyone else wants Fallout 4, so they're just putting a skin on Fallout 4 and not adding any of the things I loved from Fallout New Vegas. And this is not a trailer meant to entice me, which is good, because at this point it doesn't. It's just meant to get everyone else hyped, and everyone else seems hyped, so I hope you all enjoy Starfield when it comes out, but based on this trailer, I won't be able to. Or at least not to the same extent you do.
I don't care about crafting.
Crafting systems can be nice. I thought Fallout 4's crafting system was good, but again, it's not what entices me into a game.
I don't like the crafting, but I also don't dislike it, so I guess I'm just ambivalent about it. It's like, whatever, it's a mechanic that you put in games now, alright.
This screen also looks kind of confusing, too. You're gonna be...
I think it's because you have to do research on stuff, which I wonder if the research it's like a time lock thing.
That is awful. It reminds me of Mass Effect Andromeda system, where you have to get the resources to unlock the blueprint to get the resources to build the gun.
Because it says projects in progress. So I'm wondering if it's like, do this thing, and then 4 hours later, come back and it's done.
Oh geez, what if there's a monetization aspect to it? Pay to unlock now.
They did something like that. They did that in Metal Gear Solid 5, and it drove me nuts. You had to have the correct level. If I want to use the bullpup assault rifle in Metal Gear Solid 5, I have to have a research rank of 90, and then like a supply team rank of 75, and a combat team rank of 86. And then once I get all those, now I can research the weapon.
Fun stuff.
And then the weapon takes 2 hours of in-game playtime to finish researching it. And then I can make one. I hope it's not like that, because that's one of the few things that I really don't like about Metal Gear Solid 5. To the point that that's like the only mod I have installed on Metal Gear Solid 5 is one that just removes research costs from everything.
Okay. Mining for materials, gotta get sealant. Oh look, they got sealant instead of adhesive this time.
Oh boy, base building.
I don't mind it being in these games. I don't care about it, but people are excited, so whatever.
I don't care
Let
about
them have
base building.
it. Let them have it.
I don't know. I feel like enough people didn't care about base building. A large chunk of the player base is like, yeah, I don't care about base building. Or
what are you basing that on?
The fact that there's so many mods that are like, remove restrictions from crafting, remove restrictions from base building, add all these things to base building. So
what you're saying is people enjoy base building.
They enjoy base building, but they want to do base building without the restrictions the game forces on them. So why would they prioritize? Whatever.
You can build your own spaceship now.
I mean, building your own spaceship's freaking cool.
Yeah, sounds pretty nice.
I hope that you can build like little single-person spaceships where you don't have to hire a crew to work on the spaceship.
You want like a little 4-person Jeep to fly around in.
Yeah, I don't want to have to fly around, or even like a big thing. I want a freaking space big rig. I want a big old space truck that I don't have to hire people to work on the ship with me.
From the trailer, it looks like this is supposed to be basically just another base, but one that flies around. So you can have people on this base, and they're all doing stuff and crafting stuff for you and talking to you. And honestly, that's kind of appealing to me. One of the things I like about Fallout and the things that I always do and the things that we have showcased us doing is having a base with like 10 or 12 people there just kind of hanging out, chilling. You stop on by every once in a while, talk to them. They say some fun lines. And then you go on with your day. It's like returning to your little cozy spot.
Yeah, I would prefer to just have a spaceship be for me and maybe my in-game waifu.
Sure.
Or in-game husbando.
If you want a 2-person ship and I want a 20-person ship with a lot of talkative people and the game caters to both of us, that's solid.
I really hope that the flying the ship thing isn't... You go to a planet, and then it's press X to land, and then you land at always the same spot on the planet. I really hope that when you fly the ship around, you can actually land at different spots on the planet. However, having said that, it's like they do that in No Man's Sky, and it does make finding a very specific spot over and over again really annoying.
Maybe put up a beacon or something, who knows. There's space battles, it looks like.
Yeah.
That's not what I play an RPG for, but they could be fun. I enjoyed Star Fox 64 30 years ago. I liked the Ratchet and Clank space fight gimmick back in 2003. So this could be a fun little thing.
Provided it's actually done well, this could actually be a lot of fun. Provided it's done well.
you're going to want to go to a planet with a goal in mind, and then you're going to get an encounter like this randomly and go, oh boy. All right, so 5 minutes of doing this. Once this is done, I can get to the part of the game I want to play.
Yeah.
We'll see. That guy's got a bunch of, like, cigarette packets on the outside of his ship.
Yeah, they look like cigarette packs or shipping containers.
This one's menthol-free.
Whee! Spaceship!
Oh, another space battle. All right. Looks like there's 2 of them between my destination and me. All right, another 5-minute space fight here.
If I can do a lot of just exploring, not even necessarily doing the main story or whatever, if I can just do side quests, if I can just go to a planet and do side quests on that planet and then go to another planet and do side quests, that would be enjoyable to me.
Kind of like what you do with No Man's Sky and Death Stranding. Ignoring the main plot, just going around.
I still do the main plot in Death Stranding. I really like that game. But no, like kind of like what I wish I could do in Fallout 4, where I could just go from one little settlement to another settlement and do side quests for them.
Todd says you can land in a city or you can land anywhere on the planet. So what I want to know is, are these planets like actual giant planets you can land on and just run around and there's nothing for miles and miles?
To be fair, it is kind of like that in No Man's Sky. They're big. Like the planets are really big. They're really, really big to the point that it would take you a very long time to try to fly all the way around the entire planet.
Mm-hmm.
But it does mean that there is a lot of just empty space.
Yeah. Trying to advertise giant worlds. I mean, that was a selling point a decade ago. Look at these big, expansive maps. And I think as a whole, we've all come to realize that the larger the map, the more empty it's going to feel, the more boring and barren it's going to be.
Yeah.
And then 90% of your gameplay experience is just driving from location to location, trying
to find fast traveling because you can't be bothered to drive.
Yeah, just try to find something to do.
I am willing to do a suspension of disbelief if you have your world be very small, but very dense.
Like with Outer Wilds. Outer Wilds' worlds are very minuscule, but they're dense. You don't get lost on Outer Wilds. You don't go wandering around for hours trying to figure out where you are, where you need to be. It's a very, very small planet, and it fits very well. It's a very enjoyable game. I think later on in the presentation, Todd says that you can go to like 1,000 different planets.
Yeah, there's 1,000 planets. There's supposed to be something like 1,000 planets.
Here's the thing. In Mass Effect Andromeda, you could explore 5 planets. And it was a very limited section of each of the 5 planets. And it was still boring as hell, because you had to spend the majority of your time in that game driving from mission to mission.
I feel like the reason for that is because that was EA.
My point being that the larger your world is, the more empty it's going to feel, because there's no way you could have like 1,000 real live Earth-sized planets.
He says or said that a lot of them are planets that are just dead and they're resource planets.
Which makes sense, yeah.
Well, that's fine. I'm not expecting all 1,000 planets to be a lush garden world.
Yeah.
I'm expecting quite a few of them to just be a planet where you just land there and there's, like you farm shit and then leave.
Mm-hmm. And by farm shit, you mean you land and you put up a mining station on the South Pole and then you fly away and never visit that planet again.
Yeah, basically.
Which, if that's how you're going to interact with the planets, and they know that's how you're going to interact with the planets, how much work is going to be put into each one?
Who knows?
You keep trying to sell me on these massive, expansive, large number of worlds, and the more you try and sell me on this, the more distrusting I am. I've seen these kind of claims before, and I don't buy it.
I hope that they have a bunch of people working on every single one of the planets. I hope that they have teams of like 70 people, 70 people are working on planet X, 70 people are working on planet C. And so like each one of the planets has little things that everyone did. And I hope that like 10 years from now, when this game comes out, that people are still discovering things in the game. But I don't think that's going to happen.
They showcase here at the end so many different things you could check out. All these different planets, all these different biomes, all these different dinosaurs and creatures you can meet. And that's probably a really exciting experience to be able to fly to a planet, walk around, and then see a monster you've never seen before. But isn't that exactly what No Man's Sky was? I'm asking you legitimately.
That's exactly what you do in No Man's Sky. You go to a new planet. Wow, this planet is super interesting. Oh my god, the grass here is pink. That's so weird. Whoa, look, there's an animal there. I'm gonna scan it, and then I'm gonna rename it Poop Butt 123. LOL, I named him Poop Butt. I'm gonna name this one Caramel Tuber.
Okay.
And then you leave the planet. and then go to a different planet and then do the same thing. And when you play No Man's Sky, you really have to get it because of how big No Man's Sky is. It's all procedurally generated planets. So because of that, you really cannot, you can't get attached to like any specific planet.
Why's that?
Because if you get attached to a specific planet, then you just end up staying on that planet and not actually doing the rest of the game. Which, you know, if that's what you want to do, then that's how you play the game.
Is that going to be the space equivalent of Skyrim, where people just live their lives as a miner or a farmer?
I don't know. Yeah, this all looks super cool, but like, if it doesn't have substance, if there's not really a reason for me to continue exploring, then why am I going to explore? I really do hope they knock this game out of the park. I really do, but the trailer doesn't. Again, I'll say what I said before. They've dropped the ball so many times that I'm basically just keeping my expectations low on this. I expect it to be fun for maybe a weekend, and then I'll probably stop playing it.
It feels like a trailer for a game that I wouldn't want to play.
Well, why don't you let me talk about the guns really quick?
Okay.
The guns. Okay, so we got this one that's called the Grendel, that apparently is in 7.77 by 37 millimeter caseless ammo. I think that the fact that it's got like this e-ink display on the top of it that actually counts down as you're firing it.
Oh, that's an actual LED display.
Yeah, that's like an actual e-ink display. So when he shoots, you'll notice that it starts counting down.
I didn't even notice that.
See, look at that.
Oh,
you see it counting down. That's super cool. I love that this looks like a P90. The sights look the sights look neat.
Is that on every gun?
I don't think so. Some of the other most of the guns have ammo counters.
If the guns have ammo counters, that means you might have the option to turn off the UI in general, which would be really nice.
That would be pretty cool. I think it's interesting that it's like a caseless 7 point something. The G11 was, if I recall correctly, 4.73 by 30 or 33 millimeter. But yeah, I think that looks super neat. It definitely influenced by a P90. So this is kind of weird. The gun's in caseless ammo, but it has a reciprocating charging handle, which I think is really odd.
Oh,
like the charging handle goes back and forth when it's firing.
And he swaps to a shotgun here, double barrel.
Why is it? It's the year 2330 whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Why is the best we can do for a shotgun a double-barreled breech loader with square barrels?
It's kind of like going into battle with like a musket, you know? It's pretty outdated at this point.
Like, why is that the best we can? Unless it's some goofy like railgun thing. Why is that the best we can get?
You know, we have different kinds of shotguns that can fire like 10 or 15 times before you have to reload them.
Yeah, you can get more than 2 shots out of a shotgun, my guy. Okay, so I wanted to talk about this freaking gun. What is this one? The Equinox. Look how big this is.
It's taking up a large...
It's like they didn't even realize the mistake they made with the Institute rifles in Fallout 4. Look at how big this is. This is a quarter of the screen.
It very much is, yes.
This is a quarter of your screen is taken up by this giant box. I hate that.
It's a very fat weapon.
It's massive. So I don't know. The little animations when the gunfires are super cool. Like I love how that part goes dunk 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 dunk. It like moves forward and backward. I love how that part like moves forward and backward. That's super cool. Like what is this? Like some type of chunky mass driver? That's cool. This gun also looks pretty cool. The Maelstrom or whatever it's called. You don't get to look at it very long, but I love the tubes on here, and then like the overwrap on part of it, and then the ammo counter.
Yeah, it's
all super cool looking.
Yeah, that was all right.
Again, like I said before, they did a really cool job on like designing the world.
New pistol,
the little Eon pistol. That thing looks neat. I like that. That looks cool.
Yeah.
Again, it's like a 37 millimeter caseless ammo. I love it. It's got a big little snail drum on the bottom of it. It's fun looking. I think that looks neat. It kind of looks like a Nerf gun, but whatever. I like the ammo counter on the back of it.
Yeah.
Visually, the game looks cool. Is it going to be good? I don't know. I'm leaning towards no at this point. I don't know if I'm going to like it.
At this point, you don't foresee yourself playing it for an extended period of time.
Yeah.
I guess it all depends on, again, for me, how deep the role-playing aspect goes. Because he shows character creation, and you could have different skills and everything. If everyone plays the game the exact same way, and there's very little in terms of player choice or variance, if every mission is like in Fallout 4 where you just go to X location and kill Y number of enemies and come back and get 20 experience points.
Yeah. I hope that's not the case.
That is the biggest thing for me. That is my biggest worry. This gameplay trailer shows off base building and gunplay and making your own spaceship and character creation and stats leveling up. cool. Show me the thing I want the most. Show me dialogue branching off based on the things I've done and the character I've created. Show me different consequences for different characters. I want to see different players having different experiences with this game and the ability to go back a fourth time and have a whole new set of things for me to see.
Well, you know what game you probably will want to play?
What's that?
Pentiment.
I heard things about Pentiment, made by Obsidian. That's a new...
Made by Obsidian, and the director is the same guy that directed Fallout New Vegas.
Yes. I was looking at that a while ago. It's a 2D game that one is guaranteed to have an emphasis on role-playing.
Cocoon looks interesting. The only reason I'm really interested in Cocoon is because it's the same gameplay designer as the game Limbo and Inside, which are two of my favorite games ever. They're both amazing. Ravenlock was, whatever. I'm the kind of... Sea of Thieves I don't care about. Diablo 4, I'm conflicted.
Yeah.
I want to play Diablo 4, but also I don't want to support Activision Blizzard in any capacity. So, whatever. Yeah, Pentiment, I saw Pentiment and thought you would like that.
I might actually
cool.
be interested in it. Yeah, I might check it out. I don't know if it's the kind of thing I would really enjoy for a prolonged period of time, but it seems like it could be a fun experience. I looked at each game that was showcased as best I could, and almost none of them caught my eye, except for one. Can you guess which one that was? Aside from Pentiment, which, you know, that could be good, but it didn't really entice me. I just looked at it and thought, that could be good.
I don't know. What game?
It was a game called High on Life.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's kind of... alright.
The guns were fun. They were saying fun things. That trailer made me smile. It was only 3 or 4 minutes long. It was kind of goofy.
Yeah.
It didn't really show much about the game, but that trailer made me feel happy.
There's a lot of content creators I like that are in that. Zach Hadel is going to be in that.
Good voice, yeah.
Well, I don't know if I'd call it a good voice. It's a very distinct voice.
Yes.
I love Zach Hadel's work, though. Smiling Friends is one of my favorite shows that has ever been made.
Yeah.
I love Smiling. Zach Hadel's going to be in it, and two of the guys, I think Rich Evans and, oh man, I'm blanking on his name, but two of the guys from Red Letter Media will also be in that game. So I think that game might be kind of fun, even just to hear the voice actors.
There was a moment in that trailer, because in that game, your guns are talking to you.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the gimmick. These guns are talking to you. You're holding this gun in your right hand, and the gun's just kind of giving you the occasional one-liner, just saying some fun things, giving you some pep talks. And then the character holds up a knife in their left hand. He goes, "Hi, I'm Knifey!
Yeah,
let's go stabbing!"
He just wants to stab everything.
And that might be dumb and goofy, but it's laughable and fun, and that kind of fun just wasn't in the Starfield trailer for me. I didn't have fun watching it. It looked like a showcase, yay. It didn't entice me the way that silly, goofy thing did.
Callisto Protocol, I am stoked for that.
I don't get stoked for games, but I am anticipating that one a bit.
Callisto Protocol is made by Glenn Schofield, the same guy that did Dead Space and Dead Space 2, and also Dead Space 3, but I pretend that what game doesn't exist.
Callisto Protocol is the Dead Space 3 that we all want.
Yeah, I'm very interested in Callisto Protocol, and it comes out on my birthday!
There you go.
So that's what I'm playing on my birthday.
Cool.
And now we're just talking about whatever. Anyway, yeah, so Starfield, all flash, no substance, I guess.
The trailer.
The Starfield trailer, all flash, no substance, I guess.
It's got substance. A lot of people saw this gameplay reveal and were enticed by it, but it didn't have the one or two things that I care about. It showed a bunch of stuff off, and I don't care about any of it.
So Mike doesn't care. My thought is, it looks neat. I'm not getting my hopes up.
It has the potential to be better than Fallout 4 and perhaps even rival New Vegas, but based on this trailer, it's gonna fall very flat. I could be wrong. I hope I am, but I'm not letting myself get my hopes up. I've had my heart broken with Fallout 4 and 76 and Andromeda and Anthem and so many other things. I am not letting my hopes get elevated at this point.
Zach, an Aliens fan. First time, huh?
Who knows? Starfield could be Aliens Isolation. It could be Aliens Colonial Marines.
All right, that's all I got.
Yeah, I think that's it for me too.